What's going on, guys? Metal Music Junkie here, aka John Browning. And there's a hurricane going on in Florida right now. Thankfully, I am not in the cone, but we're getting impacted in some way. So instead of evacuating like a normal person, because we don't live in a normal state and we're idiots, I'm gonna be doing a list video. I am gonna be doing my top 10 favorite albums of 1994. Really awesome year in music. I mean, you had so much going on in rock and metal, rap, alternative was booming, punk rock was getting mainstream. I mean, a lot of good shit that came out that year. So let's begin. Now, before I start, one rule I did not specify when I first did my 1990 video, I don't include any EPs on my best album list. So unfortunately, Jar of Flies will not be on here. But if I did include it, it would definitely be on the list because that's an amazing album or EP. So let's begin for real this time. All right, so first one we got is Dookie by Green Day. I mean, what more could I say about this album? This is the album that broke them. Not my favorite Green Day album, personally. I like American Idiot better, but this album's great as well. I mean, you got many iconic songs. Longview, Welcome to Paradise, Basket Case, When I Come Around, She. Those are just the iconic songs, and you got some really good deep cuts, too, like Burnout, Having a Blast, Chomp, Pulling Teeth, Coming Clean. Really great album. So, first album on the list, Dookie by Green Day. Alright, now we're moving on to the industrial scene with this next album with Downward Spiral by Nine Inch Nails. Again, another iconic album. What more can I say about it? I'm going to be saying that a lot in this video because there's just so many iconic albums on this list. But, I mean, probably one of my favorite albums of all time at this point. This is just a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. So many amazing songs. Mr. Self-Destruct, Piggy, Closer, March of the Pigs, Hurt, Reptile, Ruiner. I mean, shit. This album's just perfect. I'm not even going to say much about it. Just, if for whatever reason you have not checked out this album, what the fuck are you doing? Listen to it. So, Downward Spiral by Nine Inch Nails. Moving on to the grunge scene with this next album with Superunknown by Soundgarden. This was the album that really broke them in the mainstream. I mean, Badmotorfinger was getting some mainstream attention at the time because it was 91, grunge was starting to get popular. But this was the one that truly solidified them as one of the biggest bands of the 90s, and rightfully so, because Soundgarden's amazing. This is a really great album, too. Badmotorfinger's my favorite, but really close second. Again, I'll be saying that a lot in this as well. Let Me Drown, My Way, Fell on Black Days, Mailman, title track, Black Hole Sun, which is their most iconic song, Spoon Man, Limo Wreck, Day I Tried to Live, one of my favorite songs by them. 4th of July, like Suicide. Just an amazing album, so Superunknown by Soundgarden. Alright, now we're getting some metal on this list with this next album. This is the heaviest album to ever top the charts. That is Far Beyond Driven by Pantera. Yes, this is the original cover, the band cover. This is not an original. This is a reissue from 2010 from Rhino Records, I think. I don't know. I bought this a few years ago. But yeah, great album. Pantera is one of my all-time favorite bands. It's got one of my favorite opening tracks of any album, Strength Beyond Strength. Becoming, 5 Minutes Alone, Unbroken, Hardline Sucking Cheeks, Slaughtered, probably one of their heaviest songs. 25 Years, Shedding Skin, Use My Third Arm, Frozen Projection, Planet Caravan, which is a Black Sabbath cover. Really great cover, so Far Beyond Driven by Pantera. Alright, now we're moving on to death metal with this next one. I don't have it. These next few albums I do not own. Really would like to get them at some point. So next I'll be talking about is The Bleeding by Cannibal Corpse. Death metal classic, Cannibal Corpse, obviously the biggest band in death metal. A lot of great. This was the last album to feature Chris Barnes on vocals. Say what you want about Chris Barnes. Personally, I think he sucks now, but can't deny that he kicked ass in Cannibal Corpse. A lot of great songs. Staring Through the Eyes of the Dead, Fucked with a Knife, Stripped, Raped, and Strangled, Polarized, Return to Flash, Pickaxe Murder, She Was Asking For It, the title track, Force Fed, Broken Glass. Almost every song on this album is just god tier. Not my favorite Cannibal Corpse album. I personally like Tomb of the Mutilated better, but this is a great album. So, The Bleeding by Cannibal Corpse. Alright, now we're moving to rap with this next album, Illmatic by Nas. One of my favorite rappers of all time. I mean, personally, I don't think Nas has made a bad album, and I think he really started off strong with this album. Personally, I think it's his best album. New York State of Mind, Life's a Bitch, World Is Yours, Halftime, Memory Lane, One Love, One Time for Your Mind, Represent, Ain't Hard to Tell. Perfect album, one of my favorite rap albums of all time. So, Illmatic by Nas. Sticking to rap for this next one, we got Ill Communication by Beastie Boys. Another one of my favorite rap artists of all time. I mean, you can't go wrong with the Beastie Boys. This is probably my second favorite from them. I have to really think about it. I might do a Beastie Boys ranking one of these days. Sure Shot. One of my favorite Beastie Boys songs, Tough Guy, B-Boys Making with the Freak, Bobo on the Corner, Root Down, Sabotage, which has one of the best music videos of all time, Get It Together, which features Q-Trip from Tribe Called Quest, Update, Food Man's Rule, Alright Hear This, Flutes Loop, Do It with Biz Markie. I mean, really great album. I mean, every song is great on this, so... Ill Communication by Beastie Boys. Alright, getting back to metal with this next album. This is a debut album from this band, and it's Burn My Eyes by Machine Head. Really great album. Most people point to The Blackening as their best album, and I agree, that is their best album. But this album's great too. I mean, honestly, this was my favorite Machine Head album for a while. And just a lot of amazing songs. I mean, Davidian, another one of my favorite opening tracks of all time. Especially at that breakdown at the end. Whew, I get goosebumps every time I hear that. Old, 1,000 Lives, None But My Own, The Rage to Overcome. Deaf Church, Nation on Fire, Blood for Blood, I'm Your God Now, Block. Almost every song is great, except I'm not the biggest fan of Realize. I don't really like that one that much. But other than that, this album's great. So, Burn My Eyes by Machine Head. Alright, going with punk with the next album. We got Stranger Than Fiction by Bad Religion. This is their major label debut. And their 8th studio album, believe it or not. Yep, took them this long to get a major label. Even though they started Epitaph at this point. And this is just a great album. Probably my second favorite Bad Religion album. Suffer would probably be my first. But this is great too. Yeah, Incomplete, Leave Mine to Be Me, the title track, Tiny Voices, Better Off Dead, Infected, Television, Individual, Hooray for Me, Slumber, Inner Logic, and 21st Century Digital Boy, which was personally, I like the Against the Grain version of that song better than this, but that version on here is good. That version is a bit more radio friendly than the Against the Grain version, but they're both good. So, Stranger Than Fiction by Bad Religion. And saving the best for last, I did not intend this, by the way, is the album that started nu metal. You already know what it is, but I'm going to pull it out anyway. And that is the self-titled Korn album. I mean, amazing album. I mean, every song is great. My favorite Korn album ever. Blind, one of my favorite opening tracks of all time as well. That's kind of a trend in this video. Ball Tongue, Need To, which is probably one of my favorite deep cuts from Korn. Clown, Divine. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say this next song because it's a slur, but that's a great song. Chutes and Ladders, Predictable, Fake, Lies, another one of my favorite deep cuts. Helmet in the Bush, and the last song, Daddy. Really hard song to listen to, especially at the end where Jonathan Davis is just breaking down in tears. I will admit, when I first heard it, I was kind of shaken up. I mean, I didn't cry or anything. I never really cried during songs, but that one did kind of shook me up. And that's a song I don't really listen to much because it's just really hard to listen to, but that is a great song. So, Self-Titled from Korn. Alright, that is it for this video. What are your favorite albums of 1994? Please like, comment, subscribe, treat others the way you want to be treated, don't gatekeep, and rock on.